Once upon a time, there was a car manufacturer known for its innovative and safe products. But nowadays, Toyota is facing the worst chapter in the history of the company. On the back of a recession which has hit the car industry hard, the global giant is now facing a catastrophe. Almost 8 million cars are to be recalled worldwide following a series of safety problems. In this Vodcast, we will analyze what should have Toyota done to deal with this crisis. Even the best companies have learned this sad, expensive lesson. Bad news is big news, and it can put at risk years of successful marketing and brand building. In her bestseller book, No Logo, Naomi Klein presents the fall and rise of brand empires like Nike, Shell and McDonald's, just to name a few. The author points out the challenges of the telecommunication revolution, when a simple rumor or a negative reference in the media can undo years of goodwill. Is there something to do about it? The marketing guru Philip Kotler advises in his book Chaotix that in this age of turbulence, a business enterprise can achieve its sustainability only by constructing an early warning system with key scenarios and proper response systems. But success in business is not only about eliminating risks, it's also about managing them, a rule Toyota should have known better. And the author Joe Marconi, an expert in crisis marketing and management, gives a framework for managing these risks in its bestseller book, Crisis Marketing: When Bad Things Happen to Good Companies. What does Joe Marconi advise the corporate executives to do during crisis? In the following minutes, we'll illustrate his 3 basic rules with concrete examples. First, get your comment out first and fast. Select a single spokesperson, someone who understands the art and science of effective communication.
The gold standard for corporate crisis management remains Johnson & Johnson's response to the Tylenol incident in 1982. 7 people were killed after an unknown person placed cyanide-laced capsules in packages on store shelves. Although the deaths were limited to the Chicago area, Johnson & Johnson immediately recalled all Tylenol across the US, 31 million bottles, and launched a public awareness campaign to protect its consumers.
Second rule, take responsibility, and if you're wrong, apologize. Also, give the reasons as to why the situation occurred.
A classic example of corporate failure to take responsibility occurred in 1989 when the Exxon Valdez oil tanker ran aground in Alaska, spilling nearly 11 million gallons of oil and blackening more than 1,200 miles of coastline. Exxon dragged its feet in responding to the disaster, relying at first on lower-level executives to handle things and downplaying the severity of the situation. The company waited 10 days before taking out newspaper ads, apologizing for the spill, but pointedly failing to acknowledge any responsibility.
Show concern and tell what you're doing about the problem. The ramifications of crisis are increased when the company is lying or trying to minimize its importance.
15,000 people in Western Japan came down with food poisoning in 2000 after consuming dairy products made by Snowbrand, a Japanese company. The problem was traced to bacteria on the production line of Snowbrand's factory. One of the valves should have been cleaned regularly, but in fact it hadn't been. The Snowbrand company sought to cover up information about the full nature of the incident, initially claiming that the contaminated valve was used rarely, but in fact it was used daily. Moreover, Snowbrand asked authorities not to issue an official recall.
So, did Toyota follow these 3 rules of crisis marketing? Say it first, take responsibility, and say how you solve the problem. And what do our marketing experts say about it? Did Toyota say it first? A definite no. Central to Toyota's problem is its perceived delay in identifying and addressing the situation in the first place. Whatever Toyota says now and however well it acts, there is a sense that it ignored the problem until it was forced to take action. Secondly, Toyota failed to take responsibility.
They have denied, they have fought, they have challenged, they have obfuscated, and they've only very gradually acknowledged that there's a problem.
Initially, it blamed the unintended acceleration problem on floor mats. then sticky gas pedals.
It's going to take them a significant amount of time to get people to come back again. Unless, and here's the key thing, unless they are seen to be doing something now. Good news, they are doing something now. Bad news, they should have been doing something then.
Surprisingly enough, Toyota is not the only big-name corporation to recently fail the crisis management test. In April 2010, the successful investment bank Goldman Sachs became notorious after being accused of fraud by the US authorities. Despite the quick reaction, the management still denies the $800 million fraud and has still not announced any measures to prevent such mishappenings.
But if crisis management rules are ignored on Wall Street, do they apply for the High Street? We checked the situation in Utrecht, the Netherlands, where the managers of 2 stores told us what their strategy is. For those small businesses, every unhappy customer is already a crisis, especially when you're in the food industry, like the first manager.
When a customer has a complaint about something, it could be taste, it could be the amount of something, it could be it's not warm enough when I deliver warm food, then I have to deal with it on that moment. And sometimes I can say, sorry, it won't happen again, and then they say, okay, thank you. But sometimes I say, now, can we do something about the price, or can we do something about the next time I order, can I give you something for free or something like that. So it depends on the situation, it depends on the customer.
Our next manager knows that every woman's dream is a perfect wedding. So when the zipper of the wedding dress breaks, not only the wedding date, but also the reputation of the wedding dress store are at stake.
We're very susceptible to bad recommendations. So the customer or one of the friends phoned us and said, what should we do? And we said, okay, tell us where you are. We'll take one of the seamstresses, we'll take a machine along, and we'll come to you with a new zipper, and we will replace the zipper there and then. And that's exactly what we did. Okay, they were not happy with the fact that the zipper broke, but they said, we will recommend you because of the fact that you did whatever was within your means to do to solve this problem.
In conclusion, the bigger the company is, the more its management forgets that the customer is the king, especially during a crisis. Taking cars off the road for reparation is a disaster for Toyota. The firm can only hope that its reputation won't also disappear.